What if I told you that right there in your kitchen, you have a mixture you probably use daily? You think it's harmless. But drop by drop, day after day, it is silencing the core of your masculinity and damaging the production of your most vital hormone. I am Dr. Richard Powell, a board-certified urologist. For years in my practice, I have seen the devastating consequences of this time bomb on my patients' hormone levels. This is especially true for men who come to me when the testosterone decline is already sadly very advanced. Today, I am going to break the silence. I won't use medical terms that nobody understands. I will speak to you clearly as if you were sitting right here in front of me. I am going to reveal the worst combination that is sabotaging your testicles without you realizing it. What is most alarming is that you have likely consumed it this very morning. Stay with me to discover it. Understand its destructive power, and most importantly, learn how to protect yourself before it's too late. Welcome. Thank you for dedicating a few minutes to what is most valuable to us, our vitality. As a physician specializing in men's health, my mission is not just to treat erectile dysfunction or prostate enlargement. It is to prevent men from losing their strength and confidence. Believe me, one of the hardest parts of my job is seeing wonderful men full of life suffer due to a hormonal crash that could have been avoided. The problem with low testosterone, or low T, is that it is a champion of silence. It is the unsung hero of your body deciding whether you wake up energized or spend the day dragging yourself around. Imagine that you have the most crucial energy system sustaining your masculine engine working 247 without rest. That is your hormonal axis, the hypothalamus pituitary gland and testicles. They filter what you eat, convert cholesterol into hormones, and control your desire and drive. But they do more than that. They also maintain your bone density, help build muscle mass, so you avoid flabbiness and maintain your sexual function. They are the foundation upon which everything works. But what happens when this system begins to fail? There is no alarm. There is no sharp pain to warn you. Low T is a thief. It sets in little by little over years. When the clear symptoms appear, low libido, weaker erections, accumulated waist fat, and fatigue that won't go away, the damage can be very serious. Sometimes it is even deemed irreversible. I have seen so many older adults come into my office scared and confused, facing uncertain replacement therapies. The question that always hangs in the air is, "Doctor, how did I not notice?" The answer is painful, because no one clearly warned them about the everyday poisons that were sabotaging their health. That is why I am here. Information is power. And today I want to give you that power. Let's unmask several of these hidden enemies of testosterone. I have listed them from the most common to what I consider the very worst of all. So stay with me. What you learn today can literally change the course of your vitality. Before starting the list, it is crucial that you understand why we become more vulnerable to these poisons as the years go by. Age simply changes the rules of the game. Just as we lose stamina or hair, the hormonal engine also ages. Your Leydig cells responsible for production slowly decline with each decade. Think of it as a car engine with high mileage. It still runs, of course, but it no longer has the same horsepower it did when it was new. Now imagine that instead of giving this veteran engine quality oil, we give it fuel that clogs the filters. Then we force it to drive up hills every day. What do you think will happen? Exactly. It will break down much sooner. Well, that is exactly what many of us do to our hormones, without realizing it, for 50, 60, or 70 years. We expose them to things that seemed harmless in our youth, but they leave a small scar, and these scars accumulate. This cumulative effect is what can result in andropause or severe decline. Furthermore, with age, obesity, metabolic syndrome, and chronic stress are more likely to occur. And here I want to be very clear. These conditions are the leading causes of hormonal damage worldwide. They are like two hammers relentlessly hitting the delicate testosterone laboratory. Therefore, anything that causes or worsens inflammation and insulin resistance is a direct attack on your masculinity. Today, we are going to name these attackers. For simplicity, I have prepared a list of 4 of these poisons. We will start with one that is neither eaten nor drunk, but is equally harmful. Then we will move on until we reach number 1, which is undoubtedly the most dangerous, widespread, and disguised as healthy of them all. The real wolf in sheep's clothing. Let's begin. Poison 4: sedentary behavior. The stagnant water that atrophies your muscles. The first poison on our list, number 4, may surprise you, because it's not something you eat or drink. It's something you don't do. I am talking about sedentary behavior, the lack of movement. It is spending hours and hours sitting, whether watching television or in front of a screen. You might ask, "But doctor, what does sitting have to do with my hormones?" The answer is everything. Your body needs a powerful, healthy blood flow to produce testosterone optimally. Imagine a rushing river. The water flows strongly, carries everything away, and stays clean. Now think of a stagnant puddle. Sludge accumulates, everything rots, and the water becomes toxic. Your circulatory system is that river. When you move, when you walk, your heart pumps more vigorously. The blood flows strongly throughout your body, reaching your testicles and pituitary gland with force. This blood flow gives them the power to optimize your hormonal production and eliminate toxins. But when you spend hours sitting, everything slows down. The blood flow becomes sluggish like the water in the puddle. And this is the perfect gateway for the worst enemies of testosterone, obesity, and insulin resistance. When you don't move, your body doesn't use blood sugar, well, leading to insulin resistance. And a body that is chronically insulin resistant is frighteningly predisposed to converting free testosterone into estrogen, the female hormone. This happens through a process called aromatization, which occurs primarily in fat cells. Every extra pound is an estrogen factory that competes with your testosterone. The solution: move and recruit muscles. Do not panic. You do not need to become an Olympic athlete tomorrow. The solution is much simpler and within everyone's reach. Break up long periods of sitting. If you spend a lot of time sitting, the first step is simply to get up. Set an alarm on your phone every hour to remind you, get up. Get up, walk around the house, go get a glass of water or stretch your arms. This simple act already reactivates circulation. The next step is to incorporate a daily walk or light weightlifting. It doesn't have to be a marathon. Start with 10 minutes around the block. Next week, 15th. Consistency is the key, not intensity. Resistance exercise, lifting weights or your own body weight, is one of the best stimuli there is. It's good for the heart, controls sugar, and of course sends that virility and strength signal to your brain, stimulating hormone production. The motto is, any movement that works a muscle is better than no movement. Remember the river analogy. Every step you take is a wave of clean blood full of nutrients for your hormones. Poison 3: chronic stress exposure. The cortisol assassin. We have arrived at poison number 3. This one hides in your daily routine and is not in a bottle but in your worries. It is unmanaged chronic stress. Many men ignore it, believing they are too tough for nervousness to affect them. And that is the big mistake. While some acute stress is good, chronic, constant stress can be lethal to your testosterone levels, especially in older men. Let me explain simply how it works. When you are stressed, Work, money, family problems, your body automatically goes into fight or flight mode. To do this, it releases a cascade of hormones, the main one being cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone designed to save you from a lion, not an email from your boss. The problem is that your body is highly efficient and uses common raw materials to manufacture both cortisol and testosterone. There is, in particular, a shared hormonal precursor called pregnenolone. When you are under chronic stress, your body massively prioritizes the production of cortisol at the expense of everything else. It is called the pregnenolone steal. Your hormone machine takes the bricks that would be used to build testosterone and diverts them to build cortisol. The result, a drop in free testosterone, and often symptoms of anxiety, insomnia, and more belly fat. Yes, cortisol loves to deposit fat in the midsection. It is a double silent and devastating threat. The solution: respect, rest, and manage the mind. So what do we do? Do we stop worrying? Of course not. Adult life presents challenges. The solution is to use your head and actively manage stress. First, and most important, prioritize sleep. Sleeping less than 7 hours a night quickly elevates cortisol. Your body repairs and produces most of its testosterone during deep sleep. The solution is not hormonal treatment, it is sleep hygiene. Turn off screens, avoid caffeine after lunch, and completely darken the room. Second, find a daily release valve. It cannot be alcohol or television. It must be something that forces your body to disengage. Meditation, 5 minutes of deep breathing, punching a heavy bag, or writing in a journal. Doing this release daily is like hitting the reset button for your nervous system. Third, explore the social element. Isolation is stress. Staying connected with friends, partners, and family is a powerful hormone protector. Talk. Social support is chemical. The golden rule is this: if you are constantly overwhelmed, whether by work or home life, your body does not have the resources to be virile. Managing stress is not a luxury. It is essential maintenance for your masculinity. Poison 2, excessive alcohol, the estrogenic disruptor. We move on to poison number 2, and this one is perhaps the most socially accepted of them all. It is present at almost every masculine gathering. I am talking about alcohol, or to be exact, chronic and excessive consumption. Many men tell me, "But doctor, I just have 2 beers after work to unwind." That is the great misunderstanding. The problem is not the occasional drink. It is the amount and frequency that transform alcohol from a relaxant into an invisible aggressor to your hormones. And why is it so bad? Your body needs its life force to function. But when we flood it with alcohol, the system is disrupted in 3 crucial ways. 1, direct attack on the testicles. Alcohol, especially over time and in high doses, has been shown to be a direct poison to the Leydig cells I mentioned earlier. It interferes with the testicles' ability to produce T effectively. 2, the estrogen arrow. The main problem with alcohol is that it stresses the liver. Your liver is responsible for metabolizing everything, including the excess estrogen you naturally produce. When you overload it with alcohol, it struggles to deal with estrogen. This allows levels to rise and create a less masculine hormonal environment. 3, the sleep disaster. Wines and beers may seem to help you sleep, but the truth is that alcohol sabotages your sleep quality, especially REM and deep sleep. We have already discussed why sleep is vital. T is only produced when you are deeply rested. If you drink regularly, you are attacking hormone production at night. High blood pressure, obesity, and gynecomastia, breast growth, are frequently observed in men who routinely consume alcohol. All are linked to an imbalance between testosterone and estrogen. Uncontrolled drinking is the second fastest way to spoil your masculinity. The solution: awareness of quantity and quality. Protecting yourself from this poison requires changing your mindset. It is not about becoming a hermit. It is about drinking smartly. The most powerful tool you have is drastically reducing the frequency and amount. The recommendation is clear: if you drink, do so in moderation, limiting yourself to 1 drink per day for caloric and hepatic control. Consider implementing dry days when alcohol is completely off limits to allow your liver to regenerate. If you find yourself needing to drink to relax stress, refer back to Poison 3: chronic stress. Alcohol is not the solution to stress. It is just a band-aid that harms your sleep and hormones. The worst poison: the disrupting mixture, the toxic duet. And we have reached the end. We talked about sedentary behavior, stress, and alcohol, all formidable enemies. But now I present to you what I consider to be poison number 1. It is the undisputed champion duo of silent hormonal destruction. It is the most disguised and the most consumed with people thinking it is the opposite of what it really is. This poison is not a rare chemical. It is something we associate with natural medicine, heart disease prevention, and unfortunately, home cooking. I'm talking about the dangerous combination of olive oil or any monounsaturated fat mixed with processed vegetable oils rich in polyunsaturated fatty acids, PUFAS. Yes, you heard right. This mixture is sabotaging your body. Olive oil is great, olive oil is healthy, but when you mix it uncontrollably with the wrong oils, you create an inflammatory cocktail that is a fast track to hormonal crash. In my experience, this duo is primarily responsible for triggering the lipid imbalance that leads to the inflammation and underlying cellular dysfunction seen in many cases of premature andropause and low T. Why am I so emphatic? Because this combination does not launch just one attack. It launches a massive coordinated attack from multiple fronts directly to your testosterone cell. Attack Front 1. The excess of oxidized PUFAs. Olive oil has monounsaturated fats, mostly omega-9, which are stable. However, cooking and mixing it with ultra-processed oils, sunflower, canola, soy, and corn oil leads to a high intake of omega-6 and polyunsaturated fats. These fats are extremely sensitive to heat and light. This means they oxidize easily even when only slightly heated. Consuming chronically oxidized oils leads to silent inflammation in your arteries and, crucially, in the cell membranes of your testicles, the Leydig cells. Chronic inflammation is slow-burning fire for hormone production. Attack Front 2: mitochondrial dysfunction. Testosterone is made from cholesterol in the mitochondria of Leydig cells. Mitochondria are the energy factories. Excessive and unbalanced consumption of these oxidized PUFAS impairs the function of these mitochondria. If the factory does not have clean energy, only dirty oil T production dramatically slows down. It is like forcing your body to use fifth-rate diesel in your V8 engine. Attack Front 3: unwanted conversion. As with Poison 3, the inflammation and body fat resulting from this diet, poor in functional fats and rich in unstable fats, lead to insulin resistance. Remember sedentary behavior? This in turn increases the aromatase enzyme in your adipose tissue. The result, precious testosterone, is converted into estrogen faster. The danger is that many people rate about the benefits of olive oil, which are real, and then mix it with processed cooking oils daily in their meals. This dangerously elevates the inflammatory and oxidative load. That is why I call it poison number 1. You are applying the elixir olive oil, but diluting it in toxic waste processed vegetable oils. The solution: regain control of your fat. The good news is that we can defeat this enemy. The key is knowledge about fat quality. First, eliminate the obvious sources of inflammation. Sauté in olive oil, but never mix it with soybean, sunflower, corn, or canola oils, especially for frying or prolonged high-temperature cooking. They are loaded with inflammatory PUFA fats. For high temperatures above 350 degrees Fahrenheit, prefer lard, butter, coconut oil, or even the meat's own fat. Second, be conscious of saturation. Do not be afraid of saturated fats from clean sources like grass-fed meat and butter. Cholesterol is the precursor to testosterone. Your body needs these fats for hormone synthesis. Third, focus on real food. Fatty fish like salmon, avocados, and nuts. When your diet is based on whole natural fats, the refined and disruptive oils almost magically disappear. Breaking the chains of this toxic mixture is the most powerful act of defense for your hormonal vitality. We have covered important ground. Today we unmasked 4 silent poisons that threaten your hormones, 4 sedentary behavior that atrophies your muscular engine, 3 chronic stress that steals the building blocks of testosterone the pregnant alone steal, 2 excessive alcohol that overloads the liver and increases estrogen, 1 the combination of good olive oil with processed vegetable oils that overwhelms your Leydig cells with oxidized fats and inflammation. Perhaps now you feel a little overwhelmed, but my goal is not to scare you. It is to empower you. The truth, even if it hurts, is the only thing that allows us to make better decisions. Hormonal dysfunction does not have to be your destiny. Each of these poisons is under your control. You decide whether to get up from the chair. You decide whether to manage your stress with a walk. You decide whether or not to drink. You decide which oil you buy for your kitchen. It is not about changing everything overnight. It is about taking one small step today and another tomorrow. Every small change is a victory. Every choice of good quality fat, every night of deep sleep, is another brick in the wall protecting your hormones. You have the power to change your health story. If this video has opened your eyes or made you think I ask you to do something very important, share it. Send it to your children, your wife, or a friend. Information that saves lives and restores masculinity must circulate. And if you want to continue receiving clear, practical advice on caring for your health, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Now I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me what surprised you the most about everything we discussed. Is there something you did not know and plan to change from now on? I will read your comments to continue helping this community. Thank you for having me. Thank you for dedicating this time to what is most important. Remember, your vitality works tirelessly for you every second. Return the favor with conscious decisions. I am Dr. Richard Powell, and I sincerely wish you a long, healthy, and potent life. Take care of your hormones. Take care of your life. I'll see you in the next one.